Hi everybody, this is Ellen again. In this tutorial I am going to do an updated one loom kaleidoscope tutorial. In my original one I first edited it poorly, couldn't hear me, I didn't explain well in certain parts. I think that as I've gone along I've learned a few things that I didn't know before, and I think I've improved my videos, but I wanted to go back and fix this one because I think a lot of people were kind of turned off by how poorly I did on the tutorial, and I apologize about that. I tried to fix it once, but it wasn't happening. So this has been a long time in the coming. So I'm going to do this on one loom, and first off, you can only get 3 on one loom, and I will show you how to extend it to add it on so you can make it longer. This is 5 kaleidoscopes, and it will fit my wrist just about perfectly. So 6.5 inch wrist is what I have. If you have a smaller wrist, I mean a child would probably only need 4 to get around their wrist. I don't think 3, but 3 would be baby size. We don't want to give these to babies. So 4. But you can kind of gauge that, and if you always make too many, you can always just put a hook right in the middle there and take all off one if you need to. But I'm going to show you how to do this. In the I'm going to do a transfer as well. I know before I've taken apart the loom and moved it over, and I know that's kind of a turn off for some people when they can't see me actually do a transfer when I tell you about it, but then I don't do it because I mean it is easier to take apart my loom, but not everybody can do that. So I'm going to show you how to do it without taking apart your loom. The other thing is that I do have the pin bars set up in the regular pattern so that you can see that anybody can make this bracelet. You don't have to just have the rainbow looms where you can offset the pins like I did originally. So that's another thing to kind of help you see that you can do this too. But where we're going to start is we are going to lay the outside pattern or outside perimeter, which is the green banding on this one right here. It's going to be a half hexagon. Because I'm doing the transfer, I'm not going to lay any bands underneath. It's not necessary because we can lay the other half after we take this one off, and so it'll be just as easy that way too. So we're going to start down here in the right corner, go up to the left, go up 2, and then go back towards the right. Just one band. So to the left 2, up 2. You'll notice where I started over here, I'm not using these pins, so and go back to the right 2. Then we'll just repeat that down the loom. Like that. So then come back to the beginning, and we're going to lay kind of the filler bands coming in from the outside, and that is the purple on this bracelet. And those are just one band in from the corners. Like that. Then we're just going to go and we're going to repeat that in the rest of these. And we'll come back to the beginning again. And this time we're going to lay a partial starburst pattern right here coming from this center pin. So it doesn't really matter where you start because we loom these out separately, I guess. They're not part of the directional outside perimeter. That will matter how you lay them. It's just their surface banding is what I kind of call them, I guess. So you could have started over here, or I guess I wouldn't recommend starting here and then coming back around the other way, but just like that. You'll repeat the same thing in the next ones. Like that. Now I'll come back to the beginning, and now we're going to make a partial star pattern on these pins right here. And what that will look like is it's kind of like a little triangle right in between the two starburst spokes. So like that. So you can kind of see it's part of a six-sided star if we had the other half. So we'll repeat that pattern in the other kaleidoscopes. Like that. Then you'll come back to the beginning, and we're going to do end caps now. I think I really like these in this bracelet because it adds a lot of color. So first you just need a center end cap on your starburst here. So I usually just wrap them twice. So you can go ahead and put those on every center. Come back to the beginning, and we're going to add end caps on these 4 pins, so right out where the starburst comes out. And these I just double as well. Like that. Then you'll repeat that in the other kaleidoscopes. Like that. Now we'll do also, let's look at the end cap on this end pin here. Just 2 or 3 times depending on how tight your band is. Like that. And now we are ready for looming. So we'll turn this around. And we're actually going to start in the center starburst here, and we're going to loom out all the center items first in each kaleidoscope and then come back and do the perimeter. So starting here in the center of the starburst, Just go ahead and loom those out back towards themselves. Like that. And just, you're going to want to go into these 4 pins and just grab whatever band is on top and pull that back towards itself. The bottom band, when you do that one, you're going to actually be catching the bottom of the starburst pattern we put out. So you want to make sure to get through both of those when you grab the pin here, or grab the band here. Like that. So going through that end cap, just grab the top band and pull it back towards itself. And normally I just I do like just the green bands and then come back and do my corner bands, but you're right there anyway, so you might as well just loom them all out while you're in there. But it's this bottom corner band that snags up the bottom or the other side of the starburst. So let's make sure you get that. So like that, and then we just repeat that in the other ones. So in through the center, drop your bands, there we go, loom out the center starburst, and come in through your end caps that you created here. Just grab whatever band is on top, loom that back towards itself, and make sure you get under that starburst one. And then just do that for all the end caps. Like that. And last time over here. Starburst, now the outside star. Like that. Now we can come back to the beginning and we'll loom up the perimeter. So in through your end cap here, grab that bottom band, just pull it over back towards itself, and do that for all of them. Alright, so now everything is loomed up. So now I have to get ready for the transfer. So when we look at this, try and get it all in here. This is our only open point over here that we really have to worry about falling apart. But when we do the transfer, we also want to make sure that we can find the centers of these pins right here. In my other tutorial, I struggled for quite some time with C-clips. I've tried bands with a C-clip through the band, and not a big fan of the transfers. That's why I started taking apart my loom. But I did find a way that seems to be easier for me. I guess it won't work for everybody, but like I said, I'll probably just end up putting a hook through this one, because I guess I have more than one hook, so I don't have to worry about needing it later. But if you need it later, don't put your hook through here, find something else. But I'm going to put 2 bobby pins through this point right here, so I can find the center easy when we do the transfer. And I'm also going to put one through this point right here, or put 2 through. With the bobby pins, you'll notice that I kind of pulled them apart so they're not tight anymore. I did use them tight when they were tight at first, and I broke a band doing it. And I don't know if it was a bad band or if they were just too tight when I pulled through too many bands. So I did just kind of take them and pull them out a little bit. And they still seem to work fine that way. And I'm also going to stick a couple through this end one as well. Although it's fairly easy to find because of the end cap in there. It's just easier if I have it. And here's a pretty blue one. But bobby pins aren't too expensive for a ton of them, so you can pick some up and try this too after you see how it goes for me. But now we can take this off the loom. So put a hook in through here and just pull this off. Sometimes I get it stuck. Alright. So there is what half of my kaleidoscope is going to look like. So we will set this aside for now. Turn our loom back around the correct way. Red arrows, which I guess I don't have any on this one, but red arrows down here. And we're going to loom out, or not loom out, lay the bands for the other half of this. It won't be the same banding that we did for the first half because we've already accounted for some of them on the first half. We do need to lay the entire perimeter though. So this time we're going to start in the left corner instead of the right corner. And we're just going to do the 2 to the right, 2 up, and 2 to the left, all the way up the loom. Like that, and come back to the beginning, and we need to lay our 2 bands from these corners. They were my light blue on the other one. We've already laid the one in this corner and this corner on the other half, so we don't have to worry about that one. So this corner and this corner. And we'll do that in the other kaleidoscopes as well. Like that. And we'll come back to the beginning. And we need to lay some more bands for the starburst. We've already laid this band here and this band here, so we just need these 2 bands right there. like that. And then the end cap is on the other half too, so then we'll do that the same thing in the other kaleidoscopes. Like that. Now we'll come back to the beginning, and for the star pattern in here, we're actually going to lay the entire star pattern. I think I kind of goofed when I did the original tutorial, or I didn't realize the banding capabilities or something, but I didn't quite do that before. But we're going to do it now to correct my mistake from before. So, lay that entire star pattern on this half. Like that. Then we'll come up and do the next one. So like that. And now we can put on the other half that we made previously. So I'm going to turn my loom sideways here. And now if you remember, when we loom up from the bottom side, so our open point was up here at the top, or by the red arrows. So we're going to take the open point on our first half and put those on the pin up here. And then we're going to stretch this down. Need some more hands. Stretch this down to the very end. And you see how when I pull on these two bobby pins, how big that center is and how easy it is to put on that pin? That's what I like. So once I get that on, I'm just going to pull those bobby pins out. Now we'll go and do the middle one here. And again, nice big center, easy to find. I think it took me like 10 minutes that I fast forwarded through for the other Kaleidoscope version. So, center, pull these apart, there it is. Take these off. Super easy, right? You could do this. Now, to get a few more of these back on where they belong, I guess we'll start on one end here. We want the end cap back over the center, and you want your end cap and this starburst band back over this pin. So you want the center of this. It's not too hard to find, but just pop that back over the pin. And do the same thing on the other side. Like that. And then just repeat that in the other kaleidoscopes. Over the center. Find that middle, which I don't have. There we go. So like that. So super easy. You can do transfers, use the bobby pins. When you get a lot of bands, it does get a little bit more complicated or a little harder to pull apart and find the center, but it still works. But when it's this few of bands, it's very helpful. So now we need to add some end caps for these couple pins right here. So just twice. Alright, so now we can technically loom out if you want. The other thing though, that with the one loom version, there is a difference in the banding that you can fix if you want to. It's not a huge deal. It's on kind of these center pins down the way because we did more than half the first time. So we kind of overlapped it, and in doing so, where we band right here, if I loop this one like that, you'll see that I'm catching both of my orange bands on the bottom here on this side, whereas if you look at the rest of the design here, the green bands, they only actually loop the top normally on the pattern. So we can fix that. It's not a huge deal if you don't want to. You can loom it just like this if you want to. It's up to you, but I'll switch them just to show you that it's not too bad. So the reason why I had you put on the band beforehand is because you have that option to just loom from here. If you want to fix them, I would just pop off the band on the inside and then take your hook, and you want to go through the top band and your end cap and grab that band, and you might as well just loom it. So now I'm just through the top band, and the bottom band is captured by my light blue one, which is the way it normally is. So it's kind of hard to match them up once it's all off the loom already, but that would be the same pattern if you switch those. So it is every middle corner here, I guess. So again, I just popped it off, went through the top starburst band, my end cap, grab the band, pull it up and loom over. And these don't matter if I loom them now or later, just because it's they're surface banding. So you can just do that in every one. It still looks good the other way. Many of them were made that way, so but I just thought I would show that there is the option to fix it, and it's not too hard to do. I'll just fix them real quick. So if you don't fix them, it's not a big deal, though. Everything will still be held together when you loom it out. Oops. Runaway band. So like that if you want to. It doesn't really matter. Like from afar, nothing wrong with it. So, but that is how you fix that if you want to. But we are going to loom this out then. Now, and we're just going to start in the center here with the starburst. Grab these two that are left and loom those out. And you can do that in the other ones, just so it's done. Like that. And come back to the beginning, and we'll loom out the center or the end caps here. So I already did this one. If you didn't, you'll just loop that band over, but then just go in through here and grab the top band, whatever that is, and pull it back towards itself, and then you'll grab that corner band as well, which will grab the bottom of the starburst band, and then just do that in all the other ones. That, and then just repeat that in the other kaleidoscopes. Like that. So now we just have the perimeter banding to do. So we'll come back here, and there is an end cap already on from the other half, and you'll just stick your hook in here and loom up the entire side. My, that's a bad band. Alright, so that's everything loomed up. So now we can take this off of our loom. There we have it. Not too shabby. It's a little dark, but looks pretty good, I think. So for extending this, like I said, I don't need 6. This is actually 6 right here, and it is much too big for my wrist. So I usually do 5, like I showed earlier. So to make that, you can do it kind of one of two ways. You can, we're doing the same banding like we did the first time. So you can either just start at the bottom, as this side, start at the bottom and do 2 or 1 or however many you need. Or you can kind of fake your way up the loom here. So here's one hexagon shape, and I want 2, so I'm going to start my banding here for the second part for the extension, because that way when I do these all the way up the loom, this shape, the half hexagon, my end pin right here will be where I put my extension, instead of having to put it in the middle somewhere, so I have to kind of contend with other bands or the pins in the way. So if I just start up a little ways up the loom, then I have a little more access to that pin and don't have bands bunched up. So I'm going to lay the bands again for the first half, like I showed earlier, just that half hexagon. I'll just kind of go through this kind of fast, since you can look back to see how I did the banding the first time if you need to. But corners, and the starburst. Then the star. Now the end caps. Like that. That's the half looming we did before. Oops, I forgot some end caps here. Get a little excited, I guess. All the way around the center post. I think I was just remembering what I just laid before, so. So all the way around. Like that. Alright, so now that's all the looming, and we can add the extension to it now. And how we're going to do that is, I'm actually going to pop off this band right here. I'm going to, well, first I should say there is technically 2 different sides to this bracelet, so when you are doing the extension, you'll want to be aware of that. This side, you can kind of see the pop in the center here, how it's only connected by the corner bands. On the other side, it's connected by all the bands. So it's kind of a dual-sided bracelet, I guess. So when you put this on the loom for the extension, you want to have this side down. So the side that has the kind of the pop to it, that'll be down so that it'll be the same along the whole bracelet. So for extending, I'm going to take the bottom 2, or actually the bottom 4 bands, which is the perimeter bands and the middle bands, and I'm going to put them on this pin right here. And then what I will do is these top 2 bands that are left on my hook, I'm just going to stretch them over to this empty pin for now and leave them there. And we'll replace them once we do the center looming, so that it'll be, the perimeter bands will be continuous throughout the design. So then you can pop this band back on like that. So now we need to do the looming for the centers of these 2. So we'll just go in through that center end cap again on the starburst and loom around. And I don't know why my bands are weird. So like that. Then we'll do the bands over here. And I'm just going to loom the whole thing out since I'm here. So like that, and I'll do the other one. So that's the centers. And now we'll go back here and we're going to pop this pop the top bands back onto this pin. Now we can loom the perimeter. So just the bottom band all the way up. Like that. So we can take this off our loom. Actually, wait. Get all excited again. Since I'm doing the transfers, I'm going to put the bobby pins up through the points I want to keep open or have easier access to open. And you can try one, but it doesn't work very well because you don't have any leverage to pull against anything for keeping it open. So 2 definitely is my recommendation for that. And that's good. So I'll put my hook into the end here and pull this off. So there's the other half. It definitely has some goofy bands. Oof. Alright, so then we have to lay bands for the other half now. So now I will be going up to the right with my imaginary hexagon and starting my bands here. And I meant goofy bands, that's in bad bands, not as in I screwed up the design and I'm showing you how to do it that way. So there's the perimeter bands, and then we do the outside bands in the corners only. And come back, do the 2 bands for the starburst. Then the star pattern, the whole star pattern. Like that, and some end caps. Like that. So that's all the laying of the bands for the other half. So now to put on the extension, and our open point will be here. So just take the stuff on your hook, or whatever you have it on, put that on the open pin, and then I'll just stretch it down here, find the center. Nice big center. Put that on the pin over here. Find this center. Like that. Now put on all of the end caps. And if you want, you can fix these while you're going through. Or I'm just going to leave it there for now. And I don't remember on that one, but that's okay. Alright, so all the centers are back on. I'll turn this around for looming, and I will fix these last few bands. And I'm actually just going to loom this out. If I can get the band I want out of the way, there we go. So there's that one, and then this one. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, so all the center banding is done. Now just the perimeter. Alright, so now I can take this off the loom, put my hook in the open part. Alright. So there we have a one-loomed kaleidoscope, different sides. Some of the end caps, because I was flipping them around, I'll have to go back in and kind of move the banding around to flip them to the back. So it looks like this right here instead of this. So that's just my fault. When I pulled it off the loom, the end caps got stuck and kind of pulled out from behind where they should be. But that wasn't too hard. I hope the suggestion of the bobby pins will encourage you to try the transfer if you need to do that. It's definitely easier. And as always, I definitely appreciate that you guys have been watching my stuff, even, you know, from the start when I've had some pretty bad looking tutorials and editing issues and sound issues, and it means a lot to me that you guys have continued to watch my videos and look at my designs, and I really enjoy interacting with everybody and seeing the creations, or your versions of the creations, all the different colors that you guys do. That's really what makes the bracelet a lot of times, is the color combinations that you have. So I think it's really fantastic that you guys are sticking with me, and I hope to have more tutorials for you in the future that you will enjoy as well, and trying to do a wide array of different banding and loom sizes so that everybody can enjoy them. That's my main goal. But as always, thank you for watching my tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe, or check out my Instagram and Facebook and stuff so you can see what's going on in those places, or to show me your designs, because that's awesome to see. But thank you for watching, and I will have more tutorials for you soon.